So let's get start demo first of token based authentication and authorization in Blazor WebAssembly along with the .NET Core Web API. And here see that application is running, and if it's not login, so it will appearing in a login screen as well as the register screen, right? And if don't have any user, so you can just register, or if already have a user, so you can log in. So let me log in with the admin user, right? And let me pass that password, and once I add the password, so what it will log in, and it will appearing whatever no authorize whatever access on this particular login user logged in. So you are able to see over here, see, like see, they are admin user, so they are able to see only admin access, and like this way. And if I log out, so you can see clearly it is logged out. And also if I log in with this normal user, for example this, and this time it should not be visible that screen, right? See, that tab also it will not visible that admin screen. So that it's perfectly working with this bearer token authentication authorization with the .NET Core Web API, which will be implement in this session. And before proceeding this session, I'm especially recommend, if you first time visit my channel, go to my channel .NET Real World Example, and one of that series actually I have completed that authentication authorization using that cookies based authentication, right? So you have to watch first this, how we can build that API, which is interacted with our Blazor application, right? So how we can create that web API. So this is that one first session. You have to check out this one, and then once it's completed, then also we have add some roles, get roles, add roles, whatever roles and things we have implement in our API. So this is second session. You have to cover this session. After that, you have to cover, this all three session, right? This all three session you have to cover, for which is actually we have to create first, user registration, right? So this is how we can register new user in our Blazor web application along with API. And then second one here we have authenticated, right? This is our authenticated user with using the cookies based authentication, right? And then finally we have complete the logout section, how we can log out that. So these are things actually we have completed. APIs will be remaining same, but yeah, this UI application will be slightly changed to uh, changes our token based authentication. So that's why I will take same example, right? And that's why also I'm recommend please proceed first this session, neither definitely it will little confuse for you. So yeah, let's just start implementation. So I will take the same example which already I mentioned in our last session. So you can take this same example. So what we have, we have a two application, which is a web API application here, and this is another application is standalone Blazor WebAssembly, right? And in this web API application, we have all that, user information and all, right? So for example, if I show you, so see, like this way actually all that endpoints we have registered login and everything's over here, and that is covered over here, right? And then second one is our Blazor application which we shown, right, which have a user login page and a registration page and then all that accessible things, right? And now we have to implement. Before implement, first I'll show you what we have in this application, right? So let me start this application quickly. See, now our API is running over here. uh, it says only running API. Okay, one thing actually I missed that. Let me close that, go to my applications, right? And here see, only running in one application at a time, but it is a dependent, our UI is dependent this API, right? So what I need to do, simply right click on that, click that configuration and settings, multiple setup, and here you have to just set that multiple project so that both project can run together. So now this, and now start running. So now it's running front end as well as the back end, right? And if you check this back end, like see, uh, all that endpoints which is running perfectly, and also I'll show you like here we are using actually this application be using as of now cookies based authentication. That will be change. I will change with this we are a token authentication, right? So but yeah, I'll show you how is working previously. So once you log in and log in that user key and then logged in. Once you logged in, see I just mistakenly wrong password, so let me fix that password. Yeah, once I log in, see it is appearing. But yeah, if you saw, see in the inspect and go to that applications, and here if you go to that cookies authentication, see actually this application using the cookies based authentication, right? And that's why actually we have implemented in previously. So now what we will do, we have to change this cookies based authentication to our token base. We are a token based authentication, right? So that's we have to implement. So what I will do, simply close everything, and yeah, everything is closed. Let me close everything. Now go to the solution, go to the Blazor secure app. Here first step what you have to do, go to your service section, right? And in this service section you have to go this custom authentication state provider. So go to that custom state provider. Here you have to go that login section. Nothing we have to do, only few changes we have to do that. So go to that login section. Previously what we have done, we have to ask to log in with that cookies authentication, right? Our API, so actually our API is very flexible. So our API, if we have passing that cookies authentication, so it will allow to cookies based authentication. If you pass, you know, that token based authentication without, if you pass that cookies is false, so it will return in a token based authentication like that. If you execute, see I'm not using as of now cookies based authentication. So let me refresh. Yeah, this is not working, I think. Yeah, we have closed actually that way. But yeah, idea is, see our this login API is enough flexible for if you pass this parameter, right? If it cookies is true, so it will allow to, you know, it will store our cookies in our UI, right? And then further we have to use that cookies to further request, right? But yeah, if you require authentication for the token base, we are a token. So what I can do, simply I have to just remove this guy. Let me remove this cookies authentication, right? And then this is one changes we have to done. And then second change is what I need to do, once I receive this response, right? So our response will be written, you know, our token in this case, right? If you pass this login and then pass that username and password, so our API will be returning uh, that token. Like let me show you in an example, neither it little bit confused for you if you first time doing that. Okay, so this is our API, right? So see, this is a login things. If you use uh, is true, like cookie is true, so it will not returning any response. Okay, it will just returning a response, but it will internally adding that cookies in our browser, and then browser further we have to use that cookies in further request and response, right? But here this is a flexible UI API. So if you false or just, you know, reset, right? Or if you just false or just reset, whatever you want, you can just do that. Okay, so if you false, and then you can just pass your username, right? Let me pass it to my username, gmail.com, and then password, whatever my password. So this is my secret password. And then once I execute, see it is 401. Might be I mistake something. Yeah, my domain name is not good. Gmail.com. Execute. Now see, once you not use your cookies, you know, cookies authentication using this API, if this property will false, so it will return like that. This response they will return like where we have the whatever type, what are that access token, and when it will expire, and what is their refresh token. So that refresh token mechanism I will use in further in upcoming session. But yeah, as of now, we will got this response in this this API, right? So what I have to do that, go back to your application here. So whatever response we have to get, we have to store in our local storage. And then further, once we have sent the request of other API, so we have to pass the token to in our header, right? So that we have to do that. So this is actually goal, and this is that mechanism. So what I can do first, let me stop everything again and go to your solution, and here right click on that web application, Blazor web application project, and go to that NuGet package. We have to record on one package that is called Blazor local storage. So this package you have to require to install, so that we can manage whatever information be required, we can keep it in our local storage. So let me install whatever latest version, apply. So once is done, installation done, we have to configure something in our program.cs file. So go to that our application.program.cs file of that Blazor application, and here you have to just add one extension method. So let that is called builder dot services dot add Blazor, yeah, this guy, uh, Blazor local storage, and then add it. So this is one extension method you have to edit, so that whatever dependencies and all, they will uh, they will fix itself, right? So once it's done, now go back to again your this custom provider, in this where we are calling that login API, right? And here I have to inject that service. So what is that service? The service name is that iLocal service storage. We have to use inside this here, right? Okay, so this is our constructor, and here what I will do, simply pass this guy and then store as a new variable. Let me bring back to new line so that it can be easy to see that. And here what I can do, I have to just create a new property and inject it to our constructor. Now see, our local storage is injected properly. Now we are good to go to use this guy. So copy this guy, right, and go to your login. After succeed, right, after get that response succeed, what I can do, simply call this guy service dot this and set, because I have to set uh, whatever response we have to set over here. And what would be that name, your set item, you can pass it over here. So what I will pass over here, that will be access token, right? So I have to add that access token. And then see, the second things is data, like whatever data you want to store, so you can add it. So I will just store a token. So let me get the token. How we can get the token? It is again use that await dot result dot contain dot read as a string async method. So it will return whatever response we have returning in this http client post endpoint for login. It will returning as a string and store that as a response token response, right? Token response. And in this token response, I have to just deserialize, right? Because in this token, again I have just closed, but yeah, in this token we have we already shown, right? There's a few property they written, like access key, access token, a refresh token, and all, right? So that we have to create a one model and we can deserialize. So let me create a quickly a simple model for token info. Let me create that. Go to that model folder and create here as a one model like token info, and create that. And here what I will do, I just simply add few property, and these are this property we required. Yeah, we require the token type, access token, and expiration in and refresh token, which will return our login API, right? So whatever returning our API, so we can create the same model over here. And here before that, I have to just deserialize that guy. So let me create a variable token info, and here we have to use JSON serialize, right? JSON serializer dot serializer token, and that's it. And one more thing, actually one more configuration we have to set over here, which already we have covered, this guy serialization option, that we have to do so that whatever ignore case, right, because our property and JSON format is little different, right? So that we can use that camel case ignoring and all, right? So that we have to set over here. Oh, that is wrong place, right? So we have to use a while deserialization, and we have to pass this guy, that is bit good. And then finally we have to use token info over here and dot access token. So this is our access token, and that's it. And here a synchronized method, so what I need to do, simply I have to use that await, and that's it, right? So now see, this is one changes we have to done in our login method. Once login successful, what we are trying to do, simply whatever response returning our login API, we are get it, right? And then deserialize and using as a access token, and using that inside this variable in this our local storage, right? So that is one changes. And now what is the second changes? Once is login successfully, right? And definitely once login successfully, other API call will be happen. And before API call, actually we have create a one mechanism. Every HTTP request, if you check this guy, custom handler, right? So whatever API call will happen, right? So every call will be coming from this request, this custom handler, and adding in our previously, actually they are by default getting from that cookies, but yeah, as of now this will not work, right? So what I will do, simply remove this guy, right? And we have to get the token first from that local storage, and we have to pass in the uh, HTTP headers, right? So simple approach. What I will do, again, let me create a variable that is called access token, and in this token we have to record that local storage service again, which we have done over here, right? See, this is local storage. So how we can use that? Again, we have to inject on that class. So let me copy this guy, go back to your custom handler, and here create a constructor and use that local storage over here, and create and inject it over here in this class. That's it. Now it is injecting properly. Now we are good to go to use. What I will do, simply local storage dot get, right? Because we require, there we have to set, but here we have to require the get. So what I will do, simply I can get from like that, okay, get item as a string and get item as a without a string, like whatever type you can set it, but yeah, I will use as a string over here. So simply I will use this guy and pass our token token key, right? So what is my key? My key is this guy, access token, and use this guy over here, and that's it. Now we are good to get it token over here, but yeah, one thing we have to do, that we have to decorate with async await, and also we have to decorate over here because neither it will complaining, right? Yeah, now we are getting, we have a token, right? Whatever token local storage is storing after login, we can get that token. And this token I have to add it in our request, right? So this is our HTTP request. In this request we have to add our authentication header. So how we can add that? It's very simple. Request dot header dot authorization, right? And then here new authorization header value, and in this authorization value header value there is a two overload method, right? One is schema and then a parameter. So we can pass as a schema. So what is my schema would be? Schema would be as a wearer. So this is our wearer token, and then we have to add our token. So where is my token? This is my token. So let me add this token over here and bring back to the new line so that it will be easy to visible. Yeah, so that is done. Now this changes we have to require, right? So that way we can add our access token in this HTTP request header for all the HTTP request, right? So save it, and This is sufficient, I guess, right? So let me build it. Let me build, and will succeed, right? So what I will do, simply I will try to run and see in actions, is it perfectly fine or not, right? So now our API is running, and also our here is also running, right? Our web application. Go to inspect, and here what I will do, if any old yeah, there still persist that old cookies, so what I will do, simply I will remove that cookies from that cookies. Let me clear everything. Also will check any session, no, there is a no session, and no local storage. Yeah, local storage also is there. So let me clear, everything is clear, right? So now what I will do, simply I will try to log in over here. Yeah, let me try to log in. Let me add my password, and once I logged in, so once you logged in, so it is not logged in properly, right? So there's some issue. So let me figuring out what is the issue. So first what I will do, right click on that here, go to that inspect here, and go to that network tab and applications, right? First to go to the application and check, like, okay, whatever our things we are whatever token we are storing, that is storing or not, right? See, our access token is there, that is perfectly fine. This is one step to troubleshooting. So token should be there, that is fine. And now second things we have to check, go to the network, which API actually trying to fail, right? So yeah, as of now we don't see any API, because I think it should be lost. So let me quickly just add one more time, uh, try to log in, right? Once you logged in, execute. If you go to the network, see, it is saying this API, that info API, right? So it is saying 401, and go to that one. Now a URL is perfectly fine, there's a no issue. Also we have to check, okay, whatever our authorized header, right? So we have to pass that authorized header in the bearer and then token. And I got that one issue over here. See, if you see over here, we add that bearer but along with the token, but before adding the token we see here the double quote, right? So this is a problem. So what I need to do, we have to add this token, but we don't need to pass any, encode it, right? A double code, inside the double code we have not passed it, simply we have to pass bearer and then token. So that is our mistake. So what I can do, we did mistakes from here, go to stop your application and go to that custom handler over here. So see, we are just trying to get as a string, right? So get item as a string, so that is returning as a string value, so that's why it's a problem. So what I can do in this case, simply we can get it this method, and we can use that get item, and in this item we can pass as a string, right? As a type, whatever type, so we can pass it. So as of now only this way, this method will return whatever value we have, right? So they will return the value, not encoded value, right? So that is fine, that one changes we have to do that. Let me save it, and let me start one more time. Now our API is running, there's a no issue. Also it's debugging mode, so let me run, remove the debugger, and yeah, now see over here, now also see it's logged in, right? Why it's logged in? Because we already have that token, right? Whatever token we have previously added, so that token over there, that's why it's logged in. So what I will do, simply remove that token, clear that, and refresh that. So once I refresh, it should be logged out, right? So now try to log in one more time and check the flow, it's working fine or not. Let me add my password and logged in. So it is debugging mode. So let me remove this guy and continue. Now see, it's logged in, and also it is authentic authorized admin user. So you are able to see this section, right? And that we have not implement logout mechanism, right? So let me, so see, once I click, there is a some issue because we have not implement logout mechanism. So what I can do, simply close that guy and go to your logout method. Go to your logout, this is your logout method. Here nothing we have to do, simply one things we have to do over here, uh whatever logout, right? So see, previously nothing we have to do, just call this API and that's it. But here we have to call this API along with we have to clear in our from that local storage, right, which we have stored here by login. So that we have to clear. So that how we can do that simply, let me store as a variable over here, for example result, and this in this result we can check. Okay, so this is checking like that is success code. If it is succeed, and inside that actually we have to add this notification, notified authentication state, and here we have to remove this guy, uh, this guy access token. So how we can remove that? Again, copy this service and go to here, dot remove, use that remove item method, and just simply pass your name, whatever key you want to remove. So which key I want to remove? I want to remove access key token. So let me remove this guy and just make it to await. That's it, right? So also logout we have covered in this session. So let me save it and let me run it. Now see, if your token will be available in your local storage, so automatically will be logged in, right? So let me this time log out. So see, once I logged out, it is logged out, right? And logged in. Let me logged in again, and this is logged in. Okay, I just passed some wrong password, I guess. So let me logged in the correct password. Now see, it is logged in with your user and all, and also this authentication and authorization is working perfectly, right? And once I logged out, is logged out. Now log in with the normal users. Let me log in with the normal user which does not have any roles, right? So let me add my password and simply add. Now see, logged in my the demo user, but here this time the admin access we don't have over here, so that's why that admin page is not visible to here, right? So like this way you can implement your authentication authorization using that token, like bearer token, right? So that's all for this session. But yeah, before closing this session, what I will do, I just close that everything. I will just add this repository to my GitHub so that you can use, or you can use or refer this repository to your learning perspective. So let me add. So yeah, what would be the name? Name would be over here, for example. So now this is that name, right? Repository name token auth Blazor Web API. With this, this is my GitHub link, so you can check out and finally push. So now it's done, and in upcoming session we'll use also JWT token as well. But yeah, this would be similar approach for use JWT authentication token. But yeah, we have to change our API slightly, little changes to do that, because as of now we using identity provider, right? So they will provide a normal wearer token, but yeah, for JWT token we have to do something differently. So that we will cover in upcoming session. Yeah, so that's all for this session. Thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.